Welcome back to the Daughter Arise channel. My name is Yvonne and this channel is all about bringing you news and content surrounding childhood sexual abuse. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of any uploads. And if you like the content that I share, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. So as you know, we are living in the middle of a global pandemic at the moment with the coronavirus, and millions of us all over the world have been told to stay in our homes unless it's absolutely necessary to come out. Now, I came across a news article that has prompted me to do this video, but it was to do with domestic violence. And the article was talking about a hike in the amount of people calling national helplines because of abuse that is going on within their homes. And that got me thinking about young children who are going through sexual abuse at the moment within their own homes, how they must be feeling. I remember as a young child how difficult it was to even stay home at a weekend, knowing the things that were going on in my home with my dad, much less being stuck in quarantine day in, day out, not being able to go out, not being able to have that outlet such as school to be able to get away from it, how difficult that must be for a child. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about what is sexual abuse and possible warning signs to look out for if you are a parent or a caregiver looking after a child. So there are many websites on the internet that you can Google to find out what is sexual abuse, but I just wanted to share some information with you. I am going to be looking at some notes as I read this information to you, but it's important that you take note of this information because we know that 90% of childhood sexual abuse is committed by someone the child knows, loves or trusts. Stranger danger is a small proportion of cases to do with childhood sexual abuse, and it's in this time as you are at home with your child, if you're a caregiver or a parent, that things might be more apparent to you in terms of a child's behaviour. So child sexual abuse covers a range of different activities which include possessing imagery of child pornography, forcing a child to strip or masturbate, engaging in any kind of sexual activity in front of a child, including watching pornography, taking, downloading, viewing or distributing sexual images of children, engaging a child in oral or penetrative sex, encouraging a child to perform acts in front of a webcam, not taking measures to protect a child from witnessing activity or images, inappropriate touching of a child, whether fully clothed or unclothed. Now, an interesting fact for you to know, and I've mentioned it before in other videos, is girls are more likely to be sexually abused than boys, but nevertheless any abuse that a child goes through, whether male or female, is extremely devastating and damaging. So before I go on to talk about some possible warning signs that a child may be going through sexual abuse, it is important to know that children rarely ever speak up at the time the abuse is going on. This is for many reasons. It could be that the person who's abusing them has threatened them, told them no one would believe them. It could be that they're scared, they've been told to keep it a secret. The perpetrator may have put a spin on it, that it's a game, or it's our little secret, you don't have to tell anybody. There are many reasons why a child doesn't speak up. Some children don't speak up because they feel something is wrong and they don't have the words to articulate or tell anybody what is going on with them. That is why it's important for us as parents, as caregivers, to be on our guard, to be alert, study our child's behaviour and be aware of things that may be going on for them. So some possible signs that a child may be going through abuse could be a change in behaviour. This could be the child could become more aggressive, withdrawn, bedwetting, become quite upset at certain things, nightmares. At the end of the day, you know your child, you know how your child is. So you might spot things that probably are not on this list but still may cause you concern. So it's important that you look out for them. Avoiding the abuser. A child may become quite hesitant about being around somebody. They could avoid that person. They might become anxious if you say this person is coming around, or if this person comes around they seem quite scared or upset. One thing that I always say is never force a child to hug any adult, because it's important that we give a child the chance to be able to decide who they want to express their feelings and emotions to. And I've heard stories of survivors who were forced to hug a family member or someone around their family that was actually sexually abusing them, and it was an awful experience for them. Another sign that a child could possibly be going through sexual abuse is that they give away clues. Sexually inappropriate behaviour. So if a child is doing things like dry humping, masturbating, sexually coming onto other children, or using sexually explicit language that you wouldn't expect a child of their age to know, this could be a possible sign as well that they may be going through sexual abuse. One of the things that you can gently do actually is to ask them, where did they pick that up from? Not in an alarming way, because one of the things we do know, if you approach a child who's going through sexual abuse in a way that is quite scary to them, it might cause them to close down and not say anything at all. But there is nothing wrong with asking them an innocent question in a way that they can understand where they picked up that behaviour, or where did they learn that type of language from. Physical problems. So for instance, we're talking about redness in the genital area or the anal area, any kind of bruising and marks around the thighs. If your child is coming to you and saying that they're having pain, these are things that need to be investigated. I wouldn't say it is rare to see physical symptoms of sexual abuse activity, because we do know for a lot of people who have gone through sexual abuse, indicators are more psychological. But if you do come across this type of thing, you have to take your child to the doctor. So besides the things that I talked about in terms of possible warning signs to look out for, before that there could have been indicators for the child at school. Maybe the child has been having trouble focusing, concentrating at school, had anxiety, maybe there's been a drop in the child's grades. I remember when I was in school, I had real trouble concentrating on my lessons and found it hard to keep still. I found it hard to stay in one place. It was like I, had ants in my pants or something, because, I found it hard just to settle down. Even though I loved school, school for me was a safe haven. School for me was a place where for a few hours I didn't have to be in the company of my dad. I still found it hard to concentrate. And even though I was going through these things, I showed indicators that something was going on, because my education was affected in part. The teachers didn't pick up on any clues that I could possibly be going through sexual abuse. So if you do spot these things that are going on, or if a teacher has brought these things to your attention about your child at school, do take it further with them, talk to them about it, and also talk to your child. Regardless of whether incest runs in the family, or the person thinks it's the right thing to do, or they don't think anything is wrong with the behaviour, or that the child may respond in a pleasurable way to it, child sexual abuse is against the law.